What's good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down something very important about the overall market, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I break anything down, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you put in $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks. Anyways, looking at SPY right now, I want to talk about something very important. As you guys know, at about 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be having the Fed Beige Book being released, and this is going to be some very, very important data. The Beige Book is basically this very, very long PDF that ends up coming out. This is going to be a summary of commentary on the current economic conditions. We're going to learn a lot about unemployment data, what's happening with the Fed's policies, how things are looking in the economy, a lot of things just like this. We're also going to learn a lot about the different Fed districts out there. So this is going to likely cause a big move in the market. We'll see what ends up being said in this data that's about to be released. So this is coming out once again at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for today. That's not too far from right now. And right now, the market is kind of reacting to this bill auction that just came out. It's very, very minor data. It's still holding up decently, but now the question is, how is SPY going to move? And that's why I wanted to break this down. When we zoom out of the charts, check this out, everyone. SPY has been pushing and pushing and pushing. It's been on a very, very big uptrend for quite a while when we zoom out all the way, right? And then as we pushed all the way up to this high at 514, this is where we were just a couple of days ago. The question is SPY going to continue to break out from here? If we break above 512, we do have potential to push all the way up to 514 again. It is possible. And if we do break that, we could push to a new all-time high. But if we're about to see the market switch directions, if the market's about to turn down, are we about to establish a lower high by rejecting off 512? I told you all that when Jerome Powell gave his speech, we likely would see a pump, and this is what happened, right? I said this in my morning video. I didn't say that yesterday. I said this in the morning video. We got this little pump. We hit 512 at resistance, but now SPY, it's in a very critical state. We'll have to see if we end up rejecting off this level or not. So be very, very careful. When the beige book comes out, that could cause some more volatility. And if SPY fails to break 512 and we do get a big rejection, this could be a possible start to a little correction, a little downtrend. This could be our all-time high, us coming down, establishing a lower high, then continuing to sink lower. So be very careful. There is a possibility of a rejection, and that is going to be determined by more data and also how SPY reacts to these levels. Watch 510 on SPY, by the way, as support, and then we have 512 as resistance. Same thing with the QQQ. Is the QQQ about to try to break out to 442 plus and eventually fill this gap up here? Are we about to get a big rejection? Are we about to see this trend essentially flip? So we had this all-time high on the QQQ, 446. We came down, we established a lower high. Are we about to get a big rejection all the way down and then start sinking to new lows? Or is this thing about to try to break in attempts to get to this high? We're pretty far from it on the QQQ, so just be very careful and see where we close. Do we close below 440? If that's the case, there could be another sign of weakness. For Nvidia, we have something very similar developing. Nvidia, in my opinion, it's been pushing. It actually reached almost 900, but now we're starting to reject off this. Is 900 going to be the top for Nvidia for the temporary time frame, or are we about to break past 900 to break to like 908, 912 and high levels like that? Nvidia is starting to reject right here, so be careful. If we lose 875, a bigger drop could be coming all the way down. We also have this gap to fill down at 857, so there could be a rejection. Just to be safe, let's wait for the beige book to come out and see how it goes. For Aapl, in my opinion, is looking a little bit weaker. Aapl was trying to get a bounce. It was trying to hold and ended up failing. Now we're barely holding 169. If we lose this, 168 is coming next, followed by 167.5. So there are tighter supports, but Aapl is continuing to show some weakness. So please be very careful, especially if you're trying to trade this or etc. So be careful on Aapl. We'll see if we get a bounce or not. We are starting to look a little bit weaker. There is some weakness on the charts. So we'll see what the beige book causes, and we'll be very patient from here. For Tesla, unfortunately, Tesla was, excuse me, it was trying to bounce, it was trying to rebound. Now it's trying to reject as well. If we fail to hold 178, a bigger drop is going to be coming all the way down towards 175. If we break past 180, we could try to bounce, but overall, we have a slight downtrend that's being respected. Tesla is showing some weakness, so please be very, very careful. With that being said, guys, let's all be very, very careful with the market right now. We just had the bill auction come out. They're using this as an excuse to drop it back down. And also be very careful with the beige book. I think it's very important to take profits quickly and to watch your levels carefully. Microsoft, it's kind of like rejecting off this area. If we do end up losing 400, we'll look for a bigger drop. 400 is going to be key 402 and 400 as supports. Let's hope we try to hold up. 405 is key resistance. For Supermicro, this thing pushed all the way up to about 1169, so very close to all-time highs, but now we're approaching 1126. If we lose this, a bigger drop is coming to 1095, so be careful. Amazon, is it was trying to break past 175. We're kind of rejecting here. If we fail to hold 174, a bigger drop could be coming to 173.5 than 172.5. And then for Meta, we tried to push up towards that 500 resistance, came back down. We're now testing 495. If we lose that, we could be dropping down to lower levels, such as 492, and eventually make our way down to about 488. So be careful on Meta, guys. Let's see how well we try to hold. Can we break past 500? Do we reject and lose 494? The odds do favor this coming down a little bit. So please be very careful. I want to give you guys a warning, and we'll see how the market does. It's a very, very critical place it's in. So watch resistance, and we'll see how the trend looks. Once again, last warning for SPY. We have more data coming out, and right now, SPY is in a very interesting place. Are we about to establish a lower high right here? And this is about to be a change in the trend, right? We had this high here, we made this low, lower high, then lower low, right? That's the change in the trend. Or are we going to see enough buyers step in after the beige book comes out, etc., to push and break this high? As of right now, it's not looking the strongest, so just be careful, and we'll see how we do. 512 is resistance. Then we have 513.5 to 514 coming next. This high right here, resistance. Then we have 510 as support, 508.5. We'll see how SPY does. Let's see if we get a break or not, or if we establish a lower high. That could be a change in the trend, and a potential rejection could be coming. All right, that's it for this one. I want to make this nice, quick, and simple. The beige book comes out very, very soon. I'll see you guys on the next one. And one more thing I want to say that's very, very important is that when day trading, be very, very careful about these pieces of data and these releases. So the reason why I'm constantly just reminding you guys about this data is because all this data is affecting the markets, believe it or not. When the JOLTS job openings report came out, the market actually sank pretty hard initially. Then Jerome Powell's testimony helped us pump. SPY went from 508 all the way up to 512. And then since he finished his testimony, the market's been all over the place. Now we have the beige book coming out. We'll see what this causes. So make sure you watch for that carefully. The market, it isn't solely dependent on data in a perfect manner. Sometimes these institutions want to make certain moves, and they oftentimes use data as the excuse or the reason to move the market a certain way. That sounds kind of arbitrary, but if you kind of think about it, it makes a lot of sense. That's why during some CPIs we've seen SPY like pump, other ones CPI has fallen despite having good data either way. So it just goes to show they're just moving liquidity around and using this data as a reason. That's why I always remind you to be open-minded with this data. So please be careful, guys. Do what you have to do. I'll see you guys soon on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.